Numbers 28 Offerings that Israel must bring each day. The Lord said to Moses, Here is the command I want you to give the Israelites. Tell them, make sure to present to me my food offering. Do it at the appointed time. Their smell will please me. Tell them, here is the food offering you must present to the Lord. Present to him 2 rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present them as a regular burnt offering each day. Offer 1 lamb in the morning. Offer the other when the sun goes down. Present the grain offering along with them. It must have 8 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with a quarter of oil made from pleased oils. It is the regular burnt offering. The Lord established it at Mount Sinai. It has a pleasant smell. It is a good offering presented to the Lord. Along with that, offer a quart of wine as a drink offering. It must be given along with each lamb. Pour out the drink offering to the Lord at the sacred tent. Offer the second lamb when the sun goes down. Sacrifice it along with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering that you present in the morning. It is a food offering. Its smell pleased the Lord. Offerings that Israel must bring on the Sabbath day. On the Sabbath day, make an offering of 2 rams. They must be a year old. They must not have any flaws. Sacrifice them along with their drink offering. Sacrifice them along with a grain offering of 16 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. It is the burnt offering for every Sabbath day. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. Offerings that Israel must bring every month. On the first day of every month, bring to the Lord the burnt offering. Bring 2 young bulls and 1 ram. Also bring 7 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present the grain offering along with each bull. It must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Present the grain offering along with the ram. It must have 16 cups of the finest flour. Mixed with oil. Present the grain offering along with each lamb. It must have 8 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with oil. It's for a burnt offering. It has a pleasant smell. It is a food offering presented to the Lord. Present the drink offering along with each bowl. It must have 2 quarters of wine. Offer 2.5 pints along with the ram, and offer 1 quarter along with each lamb. It is the burnt offering for each month. It must be made on the day of each new moon feast during the year. 1 male goat must be sacrificed to the Lord as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. The Passover feast, the Lord's Passover feast, must be held on the 14th day of the first month. On the 15th day of the month, there must be a feast. for 7 days eat bread made without yeast. On the first day come together for a special service. Do not do any regular work. Present to the Lord a food offering. Present a burnt offering of 2 young bulls and 1 ram. Also present 7 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present the grain offering along with each bull. The offering must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Offer 16 cups along with the ram. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 7 rams. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It will pay for your sin. Offer everything in addition to the regular morning burnt offering. Present the food offering every day for 7 days. The smell of the offering will please the Lord. You must present the offering in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day, come together for a special service. Do not do any regular work. The Feast of Weeks. On the day you gather the first share of your crops, present to the Lord an offering of your first grain. Do it during the Feast of Weeks. Come together for a special service. Do not do any regular work. Sacrifice a burnt offering of 2 young bulls and 1 ram. Also sacrifice 7 male rams a year old. The smell of the offering will please the Lord. Please present the grain offering along with each bull. It must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Offer 16 cups along with the ram. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 7 rams. Include a male goat to pay for your sin. Present everything also with the drink offerings. Do it in addition to the regular burnt offering and each grain offering. Be sure the animals do not have any flaws. Numbers 29, the Feast of Trumpets. On the first day of the 7th month, come together for special service. Do not do any regular work. Blow the trumpets on that day. Sacrifice a burnt offering. Its smells will please the Lord. Sacrifice 1 young bull and 1 ram. Also sacrifice 7 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present a grain offering along with the bull. It must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Offer 16 cups along with the ram. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 7 rams. Include a male goat as a sin offering. It will pay for your sin. Each month and each day you must sacrifice burnt offerings. Sacrifice them along with their grain offerings and drink offerings as they are required. The offerings for the Feast of the Trumpets are in addition to the monthly and daily burnt offerings. They are food offerings presented to the Lord. They have a pleasant smell. The day when sin is paid for. On the 10th days of the 7th month, come together for special service. You must not eat anything on that day. You must not do any work on it. Sacrifice a burnt offering. Its smell will please the Lord. Sacrifice one young bull and one ram also. Sacrifice 7 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present the grain offering along with the bull. The offering must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Offer 16 cups along with the ram. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 7 rams. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 7 rams. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the offering that pays for sin. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering along with each grain offering. It is also in addition to their drink offerings. The Feast of Booths on the 15th day of the 7th month. Come together for a special service. Do not do any regular work. Celebrate the Feast of Booths for 7 days to honor the Lord. Present the food offering. It smell will please the Lord. Sacrifice a burnt offering of 13 young bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present the grain offering along with each of the 13 bowls. It must have 24 cups of the finest flour. Mix it with olive oil. Offer 16 cups along with each of the 2 rams. Offer 8 cups along with each of the 14 rams. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the second day, sacrifice 12 young bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them along with the bulls, rams, and rams. Present them according to the required number. Include a male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering along with each grain offering. It is also in addition to their drink offerings. On the third day, sacrifice 11 bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male lambs a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them along with the bulls, rams, and lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the fourth day, sacrifice 10 bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male lambs a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them all along with the bulls, rams, and lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the 5th day, sacrifice 9 bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them along with the bulls, rams, and lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the sixth day, sacrifice the 8 bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 14 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offering and drink offerings. Present them all along with the bulls, rams, and lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the seventh day, sacrifice 7 bulls and 2 rams. Also sacrifice 40 male rams a year old. They must not have any pearls. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them along with the bulls, rams, and lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. On the seventh day, to come together for a closing sacred service. Do not do any regular work. Present a food offering. Each smell will please the Lord. Sacrifice a burnt offering of 1 bull and 1 ram. Also sacrifice 7 male rams a year old. They must not have any flaws. Present their grain offerings and drink offerings. Present them all along with the bull, the ram, and the lambs. Present them according to the required number. Include the male goat as a sin offering. It is in addition to the regular burnt offering. It is also in addition to each grain offering and drink offering. Here are the offerings that you must present to the Lord at your appointed feast. They are burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings, and friendship offerings. They are in addition to the offerings you bring to keep a special promise you make to the Lord. They are also in addition to the offerings you choose to give. Moses told the Israelites everything the Lord had commanded him. Numbers 30. Special promises. Moses spoke to the head of the tribes of Israel. He said, "Here's what the Lord's command. Suppose a man make a special promise to the Lord, or suppose he gives his word to do something, then he must keep his promise. He must do everything he would do. Suppose a young woman is still living in her father's house. She makes a special promise to the Lord, or she gives her word to do something. Suppose her father hears about her promise and he doesn't say anything to her about it. Then she must keep her promise. She must do what she agreed to do. But suppose her father doesn't allow her to keep her promises when he heard about them, then she doesn't have to do what she promised or agreed to do. The Lord will set her free. He will do it because her father hasn't allowed her to keep her promises. Suppose she gets married after she makes a special promise, or she gets married after agreeing to do something without thinking it through. Suppose her husband hears about what she did and he doesn't say anything to her about it. Then she must keep her promise. She must do what she agreed to do. But suppose her husband doesn't allow her to keep her promises when he hears about them, then she doesn't have to do what she promised. She doesn't have to do what she agreed to do without thinking it through. The Lord will set her free. Suppose a widow makes a special promise, or suppose she gives her word to do something, then she must keep her promise. She must do what she agreed to do. Then same rules apply to a woman who has been divorced. Suppose a woman living with her husband make a special promise, or she gives her word to do something. Suppose her husband hears about what she did. He doesn't say anything to her about it, and he doesn't try to stop her from keeping her promises. Then she must keep all of them. She must do what she agreed to do. But suppose her husband doesn't allow her to keep her promise when he hears about them, then she doesn't have to do what she promised. She doesn't have to do what she agreed to do. Her husband has kept her from doing what she said she would do. The Lord will set her free. Her husband can let her keep any special promises she makes, or he can refuse to let her keep it. Suppose she gives her word not to eat anything, then her husband can let her keep her promise, or he can refuse to let her keep it. But suppose day after day, her husband doesn't say anything to her about what she did, then he lets her keep all her promises. He lets her do everything she agreed to do. That's because he didn't say anything to her when he heard about what she had done. But suppose some time after he hears about her promises, he doesn't let her keep them, then she will be guilty, but he will bear the consequences for her guilty. There are the rules the Lord gave Moses about a man and his wife, and these are the rules the Lord gave about a father and his young daughter still living at home.